and welcome to our IT department open house. This is our very first open house that kicks off the remainder of a lot of open houses between now and the end of Weeks of Welcome. We are so excited to have Krisha Moeller here, our Director of IT. She's going to walk us through all this super duper helpful information, and then you may have some questions. And if that is the case at the very end, we'll give an opportunity to address your questions with our expert here in the room of Krisha Moeller. So you'll see me again in a little bit, but until then, just know that some of the privileges here in our room will be turned off, and then that way we can have the opportunity at the end of the session to really address those questions in that space. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to hand it off to Krisha. Thanks so much, Krisha, for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much, Becca. Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet you all. I'm Christian Mold, the Director of IT, and today I'll be going over some introductory information for getting everybody off on the right foot for their technology needs for this new school year. All right, thank you. So really quickly, here's our quick agenda for today. We're just going to first do an introduction into our mission, vision, and values here at Compass Charter Schools. I'll introduce the IT team here at Compass Charter Schools as well, and then we'll cover some things that are important for you to know to get, like I said, to get ready on the right foot for the new school year, including your welcome email, um, your Scholar Compass email, a New Year tech checklist for everybody, some quick cybersecurity tips, and then some information about Scholar devices and our IT help desk. And at the end, we will have a Q&A session open for everybody. All right, so our mission here at Compass Charter Schools is to inspire and develop innovative, creative, self-directed learners one scholar at a time. And our vision is to create an innovative, collaborative learning environment that supports the diverse needs and goals of each scholar, nurtures a love of learning, and prepares them for future success. I'd also like to introduce our Arctic values here at Compass Charter Schools. So here at Compass Charter Schools, we focus on achievement, which means engaging in and taking charge of your learning. Respect, which means to be respectful in all interactions with fellow scholars, learning coaches, faculty, and staff. Teamwork, which means to work cooperatively with all persons involved in your education. Teamwork makes the dream work. Integrity, which means to behave following strong ethical principles, values, and academic honesty. And of course, communication, which means to frequently and proactively communicate with all persons involved in your education. All right, so now I'd like to introduce our IT team here at Compass. We're a small IT team, but we get a lot done, I'd like to think. So there is myself, the director of IT, on the left-hand side there. And then I'd also like to introduce you here to Miguel Aguilar, our systems administrator. Miguel is the person who worked really hard on all of our account creation and account management for both scholars and staff here at Compass Charter Schools. And then Marco Metaliano. If you've not met Marco yet, you will certainly will. He is, I like to call him, our first responder for all IT issues. Marco is our IT technician and he manages our help desk. So if you ever have a problem with your computer, with one of your accounts, and you need to reach out to the IT department for tech support, you are more than welcome to reach out to our help desk. If you want to take a quick moment to bookmark that link, I highly recommend you do so. It's a really easy link to type in if you need it. It looks like Becca's also putting it in the chat box too. Thank you, Becca, but it is helpdesk.compasscharterschools.org, and you can see all of our help desk options right there. Thank you. All right, so first, IT welcome email. So, a quick note after you complete your pre MA meeting, and if you're not familiar with the word MA yet, it stands for Mastery Agreement. It's basically the contract that you sign when you first enroll with Compass to become a Compass family. So, after you complete your pre MA meeting, all scholars will receive a welcome email. Which will signify that they've officially joined Compass Schools and that they have their own Compass Charter Schools email address created for them. Just a heads up, if you do not have a Compass email address yet, it just means you probably haven't gotten your pre-MA meeting yet. So if you haven't had that pre-MA meeting, I highly recommend that you reach out to your supervising teacher and try to get that meeting on the books as soon as you can. So that way the IT department will be authorized to make that email account for you and to send you that welcome email. The welcome email will contain login information and instructions on getting logged into Clever and setting up a Chrome profile. If you're not familiar with Clever, Clever is basically our, we call it an MFA and SSO system. It's a dashboard where all of your school apps are basically, think of it that way. So all of your school apps and websites, anything that you use as part of your learning experience at Compass Charter Schools will be loaded into the Clever app. If anything's missing, let us know and we will make sure that we get those apps out for you there. Also, I already indicated this before, but any information that you need on creating a ticket in our help desk is also provided in that welcome email. But you can always just go to the helpdesk.compasscharterschools.org link and navigate around from there. And it's pretty intuitive to figure out how to submit a ticket from there. Thank you. All right, Compass Scholar emails. So all scholars will receive their own Compass Gmail account as soon as they finish that pre-MA meeting. That message will go out with your new Compass email. The IT department email, like we mentioned, will contain all of that login and information and instructions that you will need. Just a heads up, once you get your Scholars Compass email, that should be the email that you use to log into all Zoom classes. This will become very important this year specifically because that's how we help track attendance for your scholar. So one more time, once you get your Compass email, your Compass Gmail account, you're gonna want to log into Zoom using the Gmail option with your Compass email to ensure that you're getting credit for attending those sessions. Scholars and families should be checking their Scholar Gmail account daily. All Compass written communications should be sent using this Compass Gmail account. So to clarify this really quickly, when we create a Compass Gmail account for your scholar, we do assume that it's going to be a shared account for parents and scholars because we do send a lot of information there. It doesn't mean you have to, check it constantly, but it is a good idea to check it, once a school day, just to see if there are any incoming messages coming in that are pertinent to your scholar's education. We do anything that's intended specifically for parents. We will send to the parent email as well, of course, but it's just a good practice to make sure that you're checking that account at least once a day. All right, thank you. All right, so now we're jumping into our New Year tech checklist. So if you have not seen this yet, we've been trying to send this out through Parent Square and through some other email options. If you've not gotten it yet, here's a good time to grab this. Thank you, Becca, for putting that link there. I also have a QR code if you wanted to grab that QR code. So here are some important housekeeping items that will help you get on the right foot to start the school year with your technologies. So first, let me just mention that you probably don't want to try to go through this checklist until you get your Compass email. So if you don't have your Compass email yet and you haven't had that pre-MA meeting yet, wait until you get that Compass email with your after your pre-MA meeting. If you've had the pre-MA meeting and you don't know your Compass email, check your spam folder to see if the email information went there. And if you don't see it in the spam folder, you can also just reach out to the help desk or your ST, your supervising teacher, and we'll make sure that we get that email generated for you. But after you have your Gmail account, then you want to go through these 5 simple items to get yourself all ready for the new year with your technologies. The first one will be to set up or check your Clever login. The second will be to set up a Chrome profile if you are not a Chromebook user. If you already have a Compass Chrome profile, or sorry, if you already have a Compass Chromebook, my apologies, then you actually get to skip step 2. If you don't have a Compass Chromebook, then you'll need to do step 2. Then step 3 is bookmark your Clever dashboard. Step 4, log into Zoom, School Pathways, Gmail, and Parent Square in Clever to make sure that you can. So you just want to make sure that there's no bugs, nothing wrong, nothing wigged out on the account creation. We want to make sure you can log into at least those 4 things. And lastly, you want to make sure, of course, that parents can log into their parent portal. So you want to test that at the end as well. All right. Perfect. Sent our, oh, I see a question coming in. Yes, if you have a Compass Chromebook, you get to skip step 2 because you already have a Chrome profile created for you. Great question. Thank you. But yeah, so to set up your Clever login, so you're going to be accessing all of your school accounts and websites using a website called Clever. Your first step when you get your Compass Gmail created for you will be to set up your Clever account. So there are some instructions linked here. Basically, what Clever does is it lets you log into all of your Scholars apps, but it also keeps those apps safe for you by using something called MFA or multi-factor authentication. If you're not familiar with MFA, it's similar to 2FA or two-factor authentication. Like when you log into your bank, you get like a text message code sent to you just to verify your identity. Clever does both of those things. It gets you to your apps and it keeps them safe using MFA. So when you first set up a Clever account, you'll have to create a password and an MFA code for yourself. Good news, you do not need a cell phone to use the Clever MFA method. For our scholars who are in TK through fifth grade, instead of getting text message, you will just choose a favorite animal and a favorite food, essentially, and that will be a picture pin that you will use to log in for your MFA method. And if you are in grades 6 to 12, you will get a 6-digit PIN that you're going to create. So it's a number that you create and that will help you log in using that PIN. Since it's 6 digits, I recommend that you use your birthday or your scholar's birthday. It just makes it easier. But that will be your second login method after the password. So you'll put in your username, password, and then your MFA code. If you're older, 6th grade to 12th grade, it'll be that 6-digit PIN. Again, I recommend the birthday. If your scholar's in TK through 5, 5th grade, then it'll be a picture pin basically. And I just highly recommend after you create your new password and your pin, write it down somewhere so that way you don't forget it when you log into Clever. But yeah, and so the default password when you log in the first time will be linked in those instructions there. So everybody gets a unique default password before they change it. So just make sure that you check out those instructions. Thank you, Becca, for putting them in the chat. And I would say bookmark those instructions as well, just in case. They'll be in the welcome email, but it's a good idea to have them there. All right. All right. And actually, I jumped ahead myself. I actually covered all this. So, yeah. So, anytime you go to gmail.com, you're actually going to log into Gmail through the Clever page. It's going to actually prompt, if you try to go to gmail.com, it'll prompt you to log in through Clever, put in your password and your PIN. So that way we can ensure that all of our scholars' email accounts and apps are protected. All right. Perfect. All right, a Chrome profile. So if you have a Compass Chromebook, you actually get to skip this because a Compass Chromebook will already make a Chrome profile for you the second you log in, so you don't have to worry about this. However, if you do not have a Compass Chromebook or you're using a different device, an iPad, your own your own computer at home, that's fine. We just ask that all families create something called a Chrome profile. So to do that, first you need to have the Chrome browser. So if you don't have the Chrome browser, if you're using Internet Explorer or Safari, we highly recommend that you take a moment to download the Chrome browser. There is a link to the Chrome browser here in these slides, but you can honestly just Google Chrome browser and it's the first thing that comes up. So you want to download the Chrome browser. I highly recommend you make it your default browser. If you're not sure how to do that, let me know. But the first time you open up Chrome for the first time, it should prompt you to make Chrome your default browser. So the Chrome browser is the recommended browser for all Compass related activities. After you create that, after you have the Chrome browser and you've downloaded it and it's your default browser, then you're going to want to create something called a Chrome profile. You may have already created a Chrome profile in the past without realizing it because Chrome sometimes prompts you to do that, but you're going to want to create a Chrome profile just for your Scholar. So that way you have like a whole instance of just your Scholar's things in one Chrome browser instance, essentially. So if you're looking for instructions on how to set it up, it takes like 3 minutes to set up a Chrome profile. So after you're finished with the Clever step and you got your Clever MFA all set up and you're ready to go, then I would say go ahead and go to this link here. I think Becca's putting it in the chat as well. But you'll create a Chrome profile, and then every time you go to Chrome, you're going to toggle to your Scholar's Chrome profile when it's time to do Compass work. Now, one question I get is, what if I have multiple scholars? If you have multiple scholars, you will want to give each of them their own Chrome profile. So that way all of their schoolwork is under one little umbrella for each scholar. And again, once you create a Chrome profile for them, though, it's really easy to toggle between which scholar is working on that device at a time. Yeah, so you can jump to the next slide. There's just some pictures that show you how to do that. um, after after you get your Chrome profile set up for your Scholar, you're going to notice that the Clever app actually automatically appears at the top for you as well, which is a nice feature. But just in case, if you don't see the Clever icon on the top, I still recommend that you take a moment to bookmark your Clever dashboard. Your Clever dashboard is kind of like your control panel for your scholar to access all of their apps and school related websites and services. We don't have 100% of everything in Clever at this time, but we're moving towards that right now. So if there is an app or an educational app that you think is missing from Clever and you would like to have that added to your scholar's dashboard, let us know and we'll go ahead and get that look at investigating the app and seeing if we can get that pushed out for you. But the Clever link is right over here. You technically could get there by logging in through clever.com, but the direct link to your Compass dashboard will be right there. And I think Becca's going to put that in the chat too. It's clever.com/in, like in, /Compass Charters. So if you can take a moment and bookmark that app, even if you haven't set up Clever yet, or you don't have your Compass email yet, I think it's a good idea to take a quick moment to try to go to that link and just bookmark it. So that way, when the time comes and you get your school email, if you haven't gotten it already, you'll be ready to log in and always go to that your Clever dashboard to get to all of your Scholars apps. Thank you. All right. Lastly, so now at this point in the checklist, we got your school email, you got your Clever login settings done, you bookmark it, and you also, if you don't have a Compass Chromebook, you'll have your Chrome profile. So the final step is just to test your logins to make sure that everything works. So the main four you're going to want to check is to make sure that you can log into Zoom through Clever. So this is a picture of what the Clever dashboard looks like for most scholars. So you're going to see something that looks similar to the picture at the bottom with all of their apps. It's like an app dashboard, right? So you'll want to look for Zoom first, I recommend, and make sure that you can log into Zoom through your Clever dashboard. Again, this is really important that we're logging into Zoom through Clever or through, again, your school Gmail account, because that's how we will track attendance for your scholars based on their email of record. So just make sure that you're not using a personal email, for example, when class time actually starts. If there's any class time where you're getting attendance taken, you definitely want to be in there with your Compass Gmail, not with a personal email, so we can make sure we're giving attendance to the right scholar. So yeah, so check Zoom, check your school pathways, student portal or scholar portal, excuse me. The school pathways is our school information system or SIS system. So that portal is where you're going to see a lot of your class sessions and so forth. So you're going to want to make sure you can get into school pathways as well to check out that calendar for all of your online classes. You're going to want to make sure, of course, you can get into Gmail for all of your messages. The Gmail app is right there as well. And then Parent Square. So Parent Square is available for both scholars and their families, parents, of course. And Parent Square is where we push out a lot of notifications and information for our parents and scholars as well. But it's especially important for parents. So I would make sure that both you and your scholars can log into Parent Square. If you haven't gotten it yet, parents, I would say check your email to see if you have an invitation from Parent Square. And if you check your spam folder again, but check your email for a invitation from Parent Square and make sure that you accept it. You don't necessarily need the Parent Square app per se, because any information we push out in Parent Square will get emailed to you automatically. However, it's a good idea to have the app just so you have those notifications there. It's got a nice little dashboard for you to scroll through to see all of the new and great announcements from Compass Charter Schools for parents. So it's a good idea to make sure you can log into that as well. And then, of course, I would say bookmark the help desk, helpdesk.compasscharters.org, just so you have it. So that way, if you do have run into any technology issues or issues with your accounts, you can let us know. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the main four. Awesome. All right. And then logging into your parent portal. So lastly, so in the previous step, we made sure that we can log into school pathways to get to the scholar section, right? So you want to make sure your scholar can get to their scholar portal in the SIS or student information system. Now we want to make sure that parents can get into the parent portal side. So there's two different sides. There's a scholar portal and then there's the parent portal. Parent portals where you're going to be signing things like MAs and signing documents for your scholar. So you want to make sure you can get into there too as a parent. So for that part, you don't need to go through Clever because it's the parent side. You can just go right to the parent portal using that link there. There's a link here. I think Becca's putting in the chat as well. Just make sure that you can log in. You should have your username will be the email that you registered with. But if you're not sure, you can always just click on forgot your username and password. So in the bottom left corner there, I'm sorry it's so blurry, but it's right there where that big red arrow is. When you find your parent portal and that link there for your, oh, and I should mention, you want to select the instance for for your location. So if you're with Compass Charter Schools Los Angeles, you'll go to that portal. Compass Charter Schools San Diego, you'll go to that portal, and Compass Charter Schools YOLO, you'll go to the YOLO portal. So just bookmark again, I say bookmark that link, and then make sure that when you get there, you click on the forgot username and password, and that will let you generate your password. So you'll be able to log in. Again, if you have any trouble logging into your accounts, if an app is missing on Clever that you think should be there, the login process isn't working or something's wigging out, you can always put in a help desk. Our IT team is on standby for the start of the year because we know some bugs happen start of the year. We want to make sure everyone gets on, gets their footing and is ready to go with all their apps. So if you run into any issues, we'll be on standby to help you to make sure that we resolve those so you have everything that you need to start the new semester. Thank you. All right. Oh, this is actually an old slide. I apologize. Can we skip this one? I have to fix that one. My bad. Cybersecurity. There we go. My apologies. So cybersecurity awareness. So make sure your systems are secure. If you are not using if you're using a Compass Chromebook, then you actually don't really need to do anything other than just log into it. The Compass Chromebooks are great because there's really no security concerns you have. Every time you log in, it's a separate instance. But if you're not using a Compass Chromebook, this is just a friendly reminder to please make sure that your systems are secure and that you lock your devices with a password and that you don't share this password with anybody. And then for software installation, just make sure that you know what you're installing before you install it. Read the installation steps before clicking next. Lots of common software packages have ads now that install behind the scenes. So we want to make sure that we avoid that. Perfect. And then, yep, and then email. So the most common malicious attacks, email attacks or phishing attempts are the most common malicious attacks. So anytime you get an email, either to if you do get an email to your Scholar email, we have systems put in place to try to prevent those kinds of attacks or phishing attempts. But this is also just across the board. If you're using your own personal email as a parent to receive messages, just check to make sure that you know who the email is coming from, check the sender and the recipient, and do not click on links that you're unfamiliar with. All right, and then lastly, all school issued devices are monitored by your school. So anytime that you get a computer from your school or your job, it's important to remember that most schools or employers do monitor these devices. It does not mean, so don't worry, it does not mean that your school is watching what you do on your computer 24/7. So that's not what it means. It just means that alerts are sent when users engage in behavior or dialogue that is concerning, that may violate school rules, or that may put them or others in danger. So it's just to keep you safe. In short, it just means that you want to make sure that you use any school or work issued computers with this in mind. Be professional and courteous when using your device and when working online for your classes. A best practice is, again, to always keep what you do on your school work devices or accounts, like your schoolwork, separate from what you do on your personal devices like gaming and social media. On a side note, this is also why the Chrome profiles are helpful. So when you use a Chrome profile just for your Scholars account, for all of their school-related information, it keeps that separate from your own personal Chrome profile. So that way, information between the two Chrome profiles aren't getting mixed up. So just a good way to protect your Scholars work as well. Yep, so we have also a Linewise Cyber Safety Hub. If you're interested in learning more about cybersecurity and online safety, here's just a quick resource for you to access to review some of our, just review some resources about online safety. There's another one I'll link in the chat at the end too. Let me see. I'll link that at the end actually, but I have a couple resources if anybody's interested in online safety as well. Commonsense.org, that's what I'm thinking of. Perfect. And then, excellent. So if you are looking for a more in-depth presentation on cybersecurity awareness, we actually, here at Compass, we did a cybersecurity tips and training presentation a while back. I have that presentation here. Oh, thank you, Becca. Yeah, commonsense.org. That's the one I was thinking of. So that's also a really great resource if you're interested in supporting your scholar with more with navigating online environments safely and securely. I love commonsense.org, so definitely check them out if you're interested. There's also this presentation. So yep, so this link here, this bit.ly, it goes to some Compass Charter Schools IT tips for cybersecurity awareness, how to keep yourself and your scholar safe online, and how to make sure that your devices stay safe when working in an online environment. Thank you. All right, new Scholar devices. So if you are a new scholar, you will be mailed a Compass Chromebook automatically after your MA is signed and approved. So in summary and order, you have to have the pre-MA meeting before you get your email created for you in that welcome email. So pre-MA meeting causes you to get your email and your welcome email and your Gmail account generated. Then after you actually sign the MA and get it approved, then a Compass Chromebook will be mailed out to you at that point. So if you haven't gotten the Compass Chromebook yet, that just could be why we're just waiting for the MA, the master agreement, to be signed and approved. And as soon as that's signed and approved, you will automatically have a Compass Chromebook mailed out to you if you are a new scholar. If you're a returning scholar, you'll still be using whatever device you're using, unless there's some kind of issue and you require a replacement device. Then again, in those cases, you can reach out to the IT department and we will evaluate if we need to send you something different. Please review your Scholar Handbook and Mastery Agreements for information on device responsibilities and agreements. So this just basically means once we send out a Compass Chromebook, just keep in mind you are responsible for that device. You do need to keep that device safe, don't lose it, damage it, all those kinds of things. You are responsible for it while it is in your care. And of course, when you do graduate or exit Compass Charter Schools, you will be responsible for returning the device to us. And then lastly, only one Compass device will be provided to each new scholar at a time. So if you have a Compass device if you're a returning scholar and you have a Compass device from many years ago and it's starting to get kind of old, we can look at trying to replace that for you, but you can't have two at the same time. So you'd have to exchange the old one and we would send you a new one at that point. Thank you. All right, and then lastly, IT help desk. So I already covered this before, but here is once again a link to our help desk. So I would say please use your school email to track your tickets. It's a simple form to fill out, provide as much information as possible in screenshots, and first response usually is within 1 hour, and issues are usually resolved the same day depending on the issue type. There's also self-help articles available for basic or most common issues as well. However, I will say this, if you have any issue and you really need to get a ticket in quickly, you don't want to fill out the form, there is a help desk email as well. It's helpdesk at compasscharters.org, but you'll see that once you get access to the help desk portal as well. All right, thank you. All right, and here is our WOW schedule. If you haven't seen it, so we are here today on Thursday. There is going to be another session at 1 p.m. for the special education open house. And then tomorrow we have our counseling department open house and the engagement department open house as well. And then, yeah, so thank you so much. Perfect. All right. So this is my email and my contact information. Honestly, the best way to reach out if you have a IT issue though is to use the help desk or the help desk email. But if you have any concerns or problems, you can also reach out to me. Here is my email and my phone number here as well. Thank you.